I was trying to hurry up. Hey, y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Reason Thoughts podcast with your hostess, Anya. And
Fancy.
we have another great show in store for you. Learn about the new technology on mental health. So,
Stay tuned.
wait, but why? I was sitting here with my phone in my hand. I was like, it would be nice if I shared the show. That would be nice if I shared the show. Anyway, hey y'all, hey. Shoot. Today has been a crazy day, but we're not gonna talk about that. Um, Fancy, how I see you put that in the comments. That's cool.
What that's it's not the stars.
Stars.
It's a pinned comment. So every time it's a broadcast on, it comes on.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
My earring is messed up. I had to throw on some earrings or something, honey, because I ain't have on no makeup. And I was like, I gotta look like something. Something. Every time I do that, I think about Carisha when she be like, y'all always trying to find something to talk about.
Okay.
Anyway, hey fans, what you do this weekend, girl?
Look, I asked myself that when I got out the shower as I was getting dressed, and I got busy. Well, I got distracted, and so I was still trying to remember when you asked me. So this weekend I did some work and I shot some content. We went to Perkins Row, and unfortunately, apparently, you are not allowed to shoot video in Perkins Row, but you can shoot, regular photos. Yeah,
Oh.
still photos. So I was kind of disappointed because it was so many cute places I wanted to, get some content at. But we're gonna go back again. Plus, also because there's so many cute places within Perkins Row, it's not, I didn't want to just take up everything. I didn't feel like changing, so I was just like, I'm gonna do this one outfit and go. But I did that on Saturday and Sunday. Why it seemed like I'm just really drawing some blanks right now. Sunday, I didn't really do anything. I did some work again and watch Netflix or some.
I gotta stop my camera real quick because I was supposed to be hooking up my thing. I put the charger on here, but it's not plugged up into the thing.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess y'all let me find something to talk about in the meantime.
So why you can't how would they
we can still hear you?
Yeah. How would they know that you're doing video content?
I guess if I shared it and tagged them, I don't know. You never know if they have people going through watching stuff. I wasn't gonna take any chances, but I did get like a few like seconds, and that was really accidental. But I I thought that, I mean, and then at the same time, there's a billboard up there that says something like tag us in your, tag us in your stuff. So I don't know, but we called the management office, I guess, that oversees the place, because they have like a sign up out there. And so we asked about it then. But I've just been trying to find like some cool places to go to in Baton Rouge and shoot content, and just trying to think of other stuff to share with my following and more ways to educate them about visibility. So
That's dope.
yeah. So how was your weekend?
I like that. I need to start doing content. And let me tell you, I just didn't push the thing in all the way. It was plugged up over there.
Okay,
Anyway,
you're having a day.
I know. My weekend was awesome. I do this thing, it's called the Great Banquet, twice a year, where it's pretty much a lock-in for women. It's a lock-in. It's a Christian. Yes, you sleep at the church. It's 72 hours with God. And it's absolutely amazing every time I go, because there's something else. There's other layers being pulled off. And it's like, oh, I thought I dealt with that. You did deal with that. You didn't deal with this part of that though. And different things. And it's just how God uses people. I actually did a talk about just my shift that's happening right now. And this lady, this lady wrote a poem and she gave it to me. So it was real dope. It's on my desk at work. I should have bought it so I could show y'all. She said it was inspired by my talk. So that was really good, really dope. Excuse me. I really enjoyed my time. I met some new dope people. One of them that I hope we can have on the show one day. She's like so dope. Her name is Whitney. She does Whitney TV. So I did that, came home and just wanted to lay down. I have play rehearsal tomorrow. Don't forget, I am in. Have I even mentioned it on here?
Yeah.
Okay. It's called How Many Frogs Do I Have to Have and to before I find my prince. So it is December, what is it? The 4th. That's Sunday. It's December 4th. Let me make sure I got that right. It's December 4th. Is the play here in Dallas. Well, it's actually in Mesquite. So that's that. And you guys know that I am in a movie, Love and Drugs 3, where I'm doing a role. I mean, I'm a bartender. I can tell you that much, right? So that movie premiere is actually December 3rd. So that whole weekend I got stuff. So it's gonna be dope. December 3rd. I'll try to post it on our IG site. Make sure y'all following our IG, so I can give y'all the links and everything. So that's what I did, and I am just studying my lines, making sure I got them down, and everything. Something dope happened. Let me tell y'all something about people that love me. Let me tell y'all about the people that love me, because I see Aaron just say, "Hey,
Hey, Aaron.
let me tell y'all something."
Hey, Sharona. Okay, now you can tell us.
Yeah. Okay, so I know I told Fancy.
2 weeks ago.
I thought I told you last week too.
No.
And Aaron them didn't know. So everybody called Arditra to find out where I was. That's love. Aaron was like, well, at least you that should make you feel good. Everybody's like, she ain't posted. We ain't hear from her. I text her because my friend Kelly actually texted me. And during the weekend, we don't have our phone. So I didn't have my phone to even see anybody contact me.
Yeah, you did have me worried. For real.
I mean, I felt all kinds of love. I won't lie. I felt all kinds of love and everything. So I love y'all. Because people be like, you be posting, you do this, you do that, you gonna text back. So I thought that was real dope. So yeah. I just wanted to call that out. If y'all ain't got friends, I keep telling y'all my tribe is dope, boo. My tribes are dope. Anyway, this caught my attention. This week on
Aaron said, laugh out loud, phone was off, no response. We was pulling up. Yeah, Aaron. I was like, I thought, because I know she normally do say something back, even if it's after a while, something just to kind of check in quickly or something.
Baby, let me tell y'all something. I'd see the picture of Aaron and Kelly in a car. I said, where y'all was going? To your house. It was, I mean, it's funny, but I do feel love. I do feel love. But yes, this caught my attention. All right, so this week on Drink Champs, Kanye West decided to talk about some stuff that he know no knowledge of and everything. So Nori said, I heard Nori's apology, which Nori did good because Nori said at the beginning I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the episode, but I heard that at the beginning of it, there was a disclosure saying that the opinions and everything on this show does not reflect the views of the host, which people do that all the time. People always do that. But Drink Champs don't. I really enjoy Drink Champs whenever I do watch it. They always have interesting conversations and different things. But on this occasion, I'm not really wanting to focus on Kanye because I have no comment on Kanye. However, Nori said that the reason why he had Kanye on the show was for freedom of speech. But he didn't know which way Kanye was gonna go. The episode has since been removed from the episode has since been removed from Revolt and from YouTube. So my question is, I was going to my phone to get the question. Is spreading misinformation freedom of speech? That is the question of the week. So you guys tap in and tell us, is spreading misinformation considered freedom of speech? Because he is quick now to say that he don't have a freedom of speech. People are trying to silence him. If you remember, this is the same rhetoric that Donald Trump said when he was being silenced. Now, here's the thing. Donald Trump has come out to say that something is wrong with Kanye. So when a clown comes up now and says that another clown is doing too much, that means you doing too much. And you out of line. So is spreading misinformation trying to silence someone's freedom of speech, Fancy?
I would definitely say not, because there's the whole with freedom of speech, of course. I mean, you have to make certain that you're actually, I almost want to say, providing value to the public, but also not doing harm. I don't think freedom of speech was created with the intention of people doing harm, and there's a good possibility of that when there's misinformation that's spread. And although I didn't watch the interview either, I did, read about it. You know what? I'm not even about to go into it, but yeah. So that's basically what I think when it comes to the whole freedom of speech thing. I don't think that it's I don't think that applies to misinformation, because you never know how people are going to use that information. Like the consequences and the actions that could follow from somebody actually believing misinformation. Is how we ended up with the whole January 6th thing, and all those crazy people. So yeah. And I shouldn't have called them crazy, but those radical people.
So who says that is misinformation? Who
Now that part I have no that part I really, because that's a good question. I think if it can be proven to be true, and that's kind of like why I stopped, because I'm not saying I agree with Kanye, but
right.
there was I think a little truth to what he was saying. So with that being said, it's almost like, was it really misinformation? I guess, That's one thing to consider. And I want to acknowledge Sharona said freedom of speech should generally be the census truth, not your idea of what's right. Yeah,
Right.
that's a good way to put it.
A good way to put it. I feel that spreading misinformation, it kind of go when you talk about freedom of speech, it kind of goes. It's kind of like you want the Ten Commandments in a city hall, but you don't want a satanic statue there. If you're gonna say the right for religion, they have a right, even though we don't agree with that, they have a right to have who they believe in there as well. So we have to be cautious when we talk about that. Now, misinformation, granted, we all watch the man's neck, knee on his neck. And Kanye sat there and said that it wasn't.
Oh, that one, just to be clear, I'm sorry to interrupt. That was not the part I was speaking of because, yeah, now that part, that was just, yeah. That's not the part I was speaking about, but I totally forgot that he even mentioned it. But I definitely do not.
Yeah, the whole George Floyd thing. I feel that we watched it. I mean, so you want us to not believe what we're seeing in our eye with our eyes and say, "Oh, yeah, say this is this." But here's the problem with that: there's so many people who don't have their own opinions and don't have their own frame of thought that they will believe him looking straight at the video and be like, "Oh, well, you see, I can see how it's not on his neck." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes, we have to be cautious with that. But if we're going to censor him, we might have to. They're going to start trying to censor everybody. To be honest with you, it's just kind of like what Facebook did. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna censor Alex Jones. We're gonna censor Farrakhan too. We're going to censor all these other people with their rhetoric or what have you, whatever they felt, because they felt like that was going against other people's thoughts and beliefs." So it's just a fine line for me on what we call misinformation and when we start censoring stuff. I feel like the interview should have stayed up. Because of the fact that maybe somebody can use that to put him in an institute. He ain't married. So his next of kin can. I seen somebody put that that Donda was committed. I should laugh. They said that she committed suicide when Kanye started acting crazy. I was like, oh my goodness, why would you do that? But I just was like, people just be making up stuff. But again, freedom of speech. What is freedom of speech? Freedom of speech is I can say whatever I feel, fact or opinion, and it's gonna go. You just have to, in my opinion, be ready for the backlash, like Alex Jones did. He had to pay them people their money, like Kanye has to. He has to pay them people their money now because you decided to say what you felt like was right. Misinformation. So that's my thought.
All right. Well, like I was trying to give our guests another minute and see if there was anything else that we needed to address along with that, or if I had any second opinions about it. But I don't know. When you say keep the interview up, I was kind of thinking that too as proof that he said this type of stuff before. But then you got to think about also like the people that may watch the interview and actually believe what he says, like the risk of that. So yeah, that's just an idea. But let's go to our commercial. Oh,
okay. No, I was saying that's true too. The people who may believe it and we have another January 6th.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So here's our commercial. We'll be back with our guests.
We're back. You know what? I was looking at that video, at that commercial, and I said, my hair has really gone through some transitions on this on this shot. I had it straight, I done had it dark, I done had it red, I didn't had it all kinds of stuff. So anywho, we are back with Miss Nina Taylor of Emerald.
That's right.
Emerald. Nina, tell us all about your product. You're the new tech in mental health.
Also,
Awesome.
who you are.
Oh yeah, and
Sorry.
who you are.
We jump right into the new tech.
Girl.
Well, first, thank you both for the invitation to talk about something that's not only equal parts passion project and startup, but also something that's critically in need for our community. And so, Emerald IO, we're a digital health company, and we're developing a mental health app targeted for the Black community. And so, we are kind of building that bridge for subscribers to connect with quality clinical care, life coaches, therapists, as well as having those immersive therapy experiences to get to the root of trauma and start working through it and kind of unearthing those traumatic experiences to really move towards healing, as well as wraparound services and education for self-guided monitoring and of course, education. I'm Nina Taylor. I am the founder and CEO, Washington, D.C. native, hipster, hustler, hacker. But I'm someone that is deeply committed to wellness for the Black community, and someone that has spent their life in service to the physician community through education.
Okay. And former pageant queen.
For former pageant queen and plus size model.
Plus
So
size model. That's where I met Nina. 2011.
Yeah.
2011. And we've been following each other. I know, girl, it's been a while. We've been following each other. And when I seen this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. We have to have you on the show because this is definitely something, we need to start having stuff at finger reach, the thing that we're always touching. So
yeah. And it gets to that conversation around health equity, the lack of access, especially in rural communities, to really getting competent care. So we just want to be able to drop that into people's hands so that they're able to, work through to heal themselves and their families and beyond their communities.
So were you like, because I noticed that you said you were a hacker. I don't know how serious you were, but I'm like, okay, so is she pretty tech savvy? Like, where was the idea when you came up with the idea? Well, were you the one to come up with the idea? And when doing so, were you also the one that was able to put together the tech for it, or did you have to find someone, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I'm known in my industry as an innovator and disruptor. I'm the one that comes in, shakes the table, then flips the table over. This isn't working. We're going to try something else. And it's kind of that design thinking process, right? So nothing's ever really completed. It's iterative. You go back to square one after you think that you've finished to just continue to build on whatever it is. I understand technology, how it works. I spent about a year at an artificial intelligence startup right before I decided to do this. And of course, multiple years in mental health as well as oncology, teaching physicians. So part of that is just understanding, the patient perspective, what they would like to see in an app, and how it should work in terms of the providers, what they need on the back end, and that data privacy and security. I'm working with a company to help develop, but all the requirements of the app are really written down, designed by myself and by extension, the team that I'm working with.
Wow.
I love it. So one day you just said, how was it birth? Shall I say? You have all the background, and there's people with all the background, and they're doing stuff, but no one just says, okay, I'm gonna put this together and make this app. Yeah. How was it birthed? Were you sitting down, playing on your phone, like, this would be cool if I could, da da da. How was that birth?
Yeah, I think for me, the pandemic changed everything. It changed what I thought about myself in leadership. It changed what I needed out of friendships and family and relationships. I kind of went through this self-discovery phase while the world was actually imploding, right? And so it really started with the pandemic and thinking about mental resiliency. What does mental wellness look like? Why didn't I learn some of these things? Why wasn't it part of like the foundation in which I was raised? And then kind of looking back at my own personal traumas from childhood, and starting to look at that with adult eyes versus my 8 or 9, 10-year-old eyes. And that's a practice that we should constantly do that we never really do. And so the pandemic also had really difficult, complicated experiences for Black Americans. So, whether we were on the front line working through the pandemic, whether we were care providers, the fact that our community was ravaged with the number of deaths, that we couldn't even grieve the way that we typically grieve. It was a lot of things. And then they opened it up and expected us to go back to work, right? Go back like nothing had just happened. And that is just something that has happened throughout history, specifically with the Black community. And now we're seeing numbers. We're seeing the suicide ideation numbers in the Black community going up, the suicide completion numbers, especially in our youth, increasing substantially, that we are technically in a crisis. We're actually, everybody talks about stigma. I feel like we're kind of moving away from not talking about it because of the shifting in generations. I'm a older millennial where my first day at work was 9/11, right? There's nothing normal about that, but my sense of urgency and go, but also, you have to be creative in order to be a leader. All of that is kind of hard coded into us. So our generation's talking like we're not okay. And it's okay that we're not okay. Let's figure out some help. And then I had an experience where someone that was very close to me really was at that extreme, right at that line, had spent 2 years with a counselor and was right at that line that I started to kind of think about what I wanted out of therapy, what a clinical protocol should look like, what works for us, and what was missing. And it was so much in therapy that was missing that we're going to be adding to this app so that individuals can get that full kind of heartbeat of wellness, that restart button that they need. And so it really happened through just being observant about what was going on, the need to want to do something, and my own personal kind of experiences and being able to help. And so dropping a friend into an experience of immersion and able to hit the reset button on that. So I know it works. So why wouldn't I want to deliver that to everyone else that could be struggling?
That's dope. I absolutely can appreciate that, because you've seen that your friend, you're like, you know what, let me test this out on you. We're components about mental health. We big over here on it. We both do therapy and everything. Matter of fact, I had therapy yesterday, Monday.
Good
I had
stuff.
therapy Monday. And it's you can add more days or you can, push back more days. Just don't stop, because everything that's going on, you just need somebody. And I always tell people when I call my therapist, I just like, hey girl, so let me tell you what happened. She's a Black woman. So here's the thing. The physicians and the tools that you have on there, will they be Black physicians and counselors and therapists? I asked that because here's why. When I first started going to therapy, I didn't want a Black woman. Okay. I honestly didn't want a Black woman because of my trauma with Black women. Okay. I didn't realize I really had an issue with Black women until I became an adult, fully functioning, able to understand why is it that I really don't, I deal with Black women, but it's like when it gets to a certain extent, I'm like, I'm uneasy. I don't know. Are you going to like me? You're not going to like me because of the dealings that I've had with Black women. So that's why I asked them.
Okay. So the physicians online will be African Americans. So will the life coaches, therapists, But everyone is going through kind of being retrained with our model. And so it's something that the people have to have empathy. They have to be authentic, and someone that really the physicians and therapists that are working with me, they get it, right? So they've seen all types of traumas, triggers, and then they'll work with you hand in hand to move through it. And so, yes, our app is for the culture, and that's for the physician experience as well.
Okay. I mean, I have a Black woman, so.
You haven't had a Black therapist?
No, I have a Black woman now.
All right, cool.
Well, yeah, my therapist is Black as well, and she's a woman, and I love her to death. But I was curious to know what made you want to incorporate the life coaches into this, because I mean, I do feel like that they could work hand in hand to, for a better experience. But I'm just curious, like, how did that come about?
So for a number of reasons, a life coach is trained in a way that's a little bit more open, less prescribed than someone from the clinical side would. We'd want to train the AI model to be able to shoot people off into the directions that they need, right? So you might not need a psychiatrist, might not have serious mental illness, you might not need medication, but you do need tools to learn how to communicate with your family, how to get over some of the workplace microaggressions, or to address them head on. Someone that is really kind of guiding you. The other thing, again, back to the pandemic, is I realized the strength of the tribe, right? So having someone that you can pour into, someone that you can laugh with, but also someone that pours into you. And that person's typically older. And with folks that are 20 in their early 30s, they don't have that tribe. They don't have the friends that you've known for 15 years, you grew up on the block with, or that auntie or that you can go to. And that's the difference. That's what we want to bring. We want to bring people into this experience where you have a tribe, that you have a community of folks that get it, that will support you on your journey, that will also need support, right? And so a lot of what you're seeing now in TikTok and Facebook groups are people literally finding friends, right? So they have these friend applications, or trauma bonding or something like that. We're not doing that, right? So life coaches are not only critical to this, they're part of the reason why I said this actually works. They are allowing us to be together to do the immersive therapy, to really do the activities, like do the work. Emerald.io isn't passive. We're not just going to be texting you, "Are you okay?" No, you have to do the work. You have to come ready, right? Come as you are, but come ready to have a transformation.
So now, will it be more like you go into the app and there will be a list of physicians or people that you can schedule an appointment with, or will it be more along the lines, or both? But like, will it? How they have telehealth, and you're able to see the other person, like kind of like a Zoom. So is it going to be a component like that within it as well?
Yeah. So once you log on to the app, and we hope that people go to www.emerald.io to subscribe, just so that you're able to beta test when we're ready. But it starts off with an intake questionnaire, and you could do a short version if you're not comfortable giving so much of your information just yet, or the long version if you're ready to just find a therapist and go in on it. And after that intake, our machine learning would then shoot you off into a direction with a number of different options, whether you are better suited with a life coach, whether, our app will also have a spiritual component to it as well. So we actually have clergy that's involved, and that's something that other apps do not have. Mm-hmm. As well as if you have a serious mental illness, you might end up with a psychiatrist. Therapists and our life coaches, in particular, you have to think about the region in which they're treating. So we have to make sure that, you have a provider in your state. And if you don't, then you're able to talk to a life coach, right? So it just depends on where you are. What the intake questionnaire is saying that your prescribed method should be. And you're able to schedule a conversation, a face-to-face virtual meeting with your provider. If you don't have something scheduled, there's things like affirmations that will get sent to your phone. You will actually have homework. You will have activities, everything from song studies to writing prompts that you will end up having into in your app. We mirrored Emerald IO after the movie The Wiz. So it really is a journey, and your journey, the path will change depending on who you might meet, right? It's just like the Wizard of Oz. So it's one of those things that will always be evolving depending on where you are.
Wow.
So
I'm ready to see the app.
I know, like I'm like after this. So
Light up.
how do one say, for instance, if because I'm like, oh, this would be good for my therapist. How do one become like a part of it, a part of the movement? How do they sign up and say, I want to be a life coach, I want to be a therapist, I want to be a clinician, I want to be a clergy, I want to be a part of this? How does one do that?
So we're actively having conversations with providers. I talk to somebody or 3 or 4 people every day that's ready to kind of go. A lot of the counselors and psychologists and psychotherapists kind of have private practice as well. But our kind of main physicians that we're working with they span from academic psychiatrists to psychiatrists that have experiences in the criminal justice system. And so if they are ready to work with us or sign up to be a therapist, we're actually opening enrollment for clinicians and therapists in the month of November. So again, just hit our site, let us know that you're interested in working with us, and we'll set up a conversation. We are asking that our therapists and counselors, as well as life coaches, go through a separate training with our, I call her my queen of immersive therapy, Reverend Robin McCoy. And after that, they'll be ready to go.
Okay. So I'm on the app. I find a therapist.
Yeah.
How do I pay for this?
So that's the big question, because depending on where you live, therapy can range from $125 an hour to $175 an hour. So we're actually working now through policy to make sure that we're accepting Medicaid, Medicare, that we're provided, the insurance providers are covering this as a telehealth service. So that's kind of like the easy pathway in for us. And then there's a subscription base that is very inexpensive for individuals that might not be ready. So we wanted to really kind of cater to the folks that need more information in order to take that big step. And so you're able to pay through your insurance.
Okay, yeah. Because a lot of people are like, yeah, this is dope, but how am I gonna pay for this? Well, do you have payment plans or anything like that you maybe?
Yeah. So the subscription would be a very low fee every month. And if you have, if your pathway takes you to a psychiatrist, then we make sure that psychiatrist is able to provide quality care at a price that works best. So we're going to try to move this around a little bit. We're actually talking to investors right now, so I can't give you the numbers. Right. But depending on the amount of money that we're able to raise, the better that we can do.
Okay. Yeah. I absolutely love this idea. Just like you said, the journey. And when you say Wizard of Oz, it really put the picture there, because that in life, that's what happens. We are triggered. We meet people, we're triggered, and it takes us to different things.
Oh yeah. I'm, like I said, really big into watching movies that I loved as a kid with my adult eyes. The Lion King, I highly recommend to go back and watch it again as an adult. But The Wiz for me was just something that it really made what I was thinking about real. It's a movie that every different type of person that you might come across in your community, in the Black community, exists. You had the parents that were bringing in the newborn baby to Thanksgiving, and they had this look of being bewildered. You had, your aunties pushing you to elevate in a career pathway, and you're not sure that you have what it takes. And I think one of my favorite lines, especially as a child of the diaspora, is that you're home anywhere if you're home within yourself. And so it had all of these major key alerts. Michael Jackson's character, where he's, hanging around with friends who's telling you that you can't win, you can't do this. Mm-hmm. And all the while he could, right? And so it's that making sure your circle is, on point and tight. So there, go back and look at it. And then when you see the app, then you'll be in M City and you'll know why. Yeah.
Is that guy called Emerald?
Yeah. So that's why it's called Emerald.
Wow.
Yeah, and green is the color of mental health. Green is the color of being vibrant and renewed. I also wear my like green warrior earrings all the time. So it's one of those colors that mean a lot to me, but also to the folks that I'm working with.
Wow. Okay, I gotta admit, I've never seen The Wiz, so now I have to watch it because I want to know more about it, and also just because I do want to check out the app. And just as someone who has, spoken publicly about having bipolar disorder, I'm curious to know, like, when I know you said it's gonna kind of like take you off on a path or a journey. Okay, why my question just totally slipped my mind. Oh, will there be something that is geared towards certain disorders, like for those who might maybe have bipolar disorder, or those who might battle with schizophrenia, or whatever the case may be?
So serious mental illness was my wheelhouse, right? So I was the deputy director for the Division of Education for the American Psychiatric Association. And it's one of those things that we'd worked with the NIH to pull together grants to put on new platforms and new apps to connect the SMI community, as well as the substance use disorder community, to quality care. And so that is what it was my main focus, right? Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, the tremor disorders, because they're in the Black community, they might present in a different way. And we were getting misdiagnosed, right? And so I want to be sure that there's competent clinical care, that individuals that need medication are able to connect with providers to provide the right medication. But also there's a research component to this for the physician community to start getting it right. And so there's a lot that we're doing in the back end of Emerald.io that will support serious mental illness in the future. In 44 states, the prisons is where most individuals are getting a lot of care when it comes to SMI. We want to start changing that. We want to get to folks before they commit any criminal offenses. We want to make sure that we are talking about serious mental illness in a positive way so that the community understands not only what it takes to care, but also what it takes to stay well and what that means.
Yeah, definitely. Well, did you have anything else, Fancy?
I don't know. I was really enjoying the conversation. I'm trying to think, like, especially with this being mental health, because I speak about, my journey. And so I thought I would have more questions, but I really enjoyed how you've broken everything down. And again, I'm just looking forward to seeing the app. So I don't think I have anything off the top of my head.
Catch that comment.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Alex Taylor said, my tribe is called Quest. Go Nina.
That's my baby brother. And I have to say, hey, he's the most amazing person in the world. I love him.
I've been crushing on your brother since I met you.
Oh, bad. I feel like
I'm old, but tell him I say hey.
He's got indiscriminate taste. I will have to say that. So, ladies, go ahead and holler at I'm that sister. I keep it real.
I think what post I was like, tell him I say hey, girl. It was years ago, many years ago.
We sliding in his DMs, and so, but he's a vibe. He is the funniest person I know. Life of the party. He's dope. So. Thank you.
I love how y'all support each other, because you be like, I just love the love. So I just wanted to make sure we caught that. Is there anything that we did not address that you want to make sure that we address tonight?
Yeah, so we are planning to launch the app in the spring. So please sign up on the website if you want to get a sneak peek and help us with beta testing and sending in comments. We want to make sure this truly works for us. It is FUBU, but mental health, right? For us.
I love it.
So I want to make sure that it is right. And then we'll move to our go-to-market. We are also crowdfunding. So you'll see the link on the website. We're doing a collaboration with I Fund Women. It's being a Black woman founder of a tech startup and talking to venture companies. It's an uphill battle. And so we're doing some micro fundraising, everything from $10 to $100. It just helps. Before we kind of move into those deeper conversations as we're considered pre-seed, early startup. And follow us on social media. I want to give a shout out to Keisha Goodwin. She's the most amazing marketing head of marketing for us, and she works really hard. And so be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever. And so thank you both for this opportunity to talk about this company and what we're hoping to deliver for everyone. And we hope to stay connected.
I'm gonna be on the app, so I don't know how it's gonna work out with my therapist and everything, but I'm definitely gonna be sending in some comments and suggestions. And if you can be an ambassador, let me know. Like, I'll let your girl. So
I mean, listen, I will too. I will definitely as well, and I don't mind doing beta testing, even though I have a therapist. I mean, see what path it takes me down. Maybe I just say I don't need a therapist. I need a life coach.
Or it could be a combination, right? So that's collaborative care. And we are going to be thinking about what works well for an individual. And it might be a collaborative care model that you might end up with a social worker too. Who knows? Like, we have a lot.
Like I said, when I seen you post, I was like, oh, this is absolutely amazing. And I think I even mentioned it to Fancy at that time. Yeah. And then I was like, we have to have her, and she always go check out whoever it is most of the time, because she'd be like, let me see who she's talking about.
I love that though. Yeah, I did my recon, so you got to do it's the equal part recon.
Right. So we have Nina Taylor. The website is www.merald.io. Instagram is meraldsocial.com. I spell it out for our audio listeners. Awesome. Who get it. So we appreciate you coming on the show, and we may just have to have her back when it launches to talk again about this whole concept, especially since we're going to be brand ambassadors. So
that's right. Absolutely. I love the plug. I'll take it.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Peace and blessings.
All right, y'all. You can.
I'm trying. Me and these banners tonight, just not. Yeah.
It's all right. That is such a dope app. You can go ahead and run mine.
Oh,
that is such a dope app. It's such a dope app. And I'm sorry about that, y'all. This thing was not plugged in all the way, and it was about to go off. So I needed to make sure that my computer didn't go off in the middle of the conversation. Oh, so hard. You can find me, Lady CEO, at www.ladyceo.com, or you can email me at arnya@ladyceo.com if you need to get in touch with me. Our email address is theoriesandthoughts@ladyceo.com. Remember, lady is spelled with an I. If you have any comments, questions, want to know about a guest, want to be on the show, any of those things, hit us up. Also, we do have an IG page, Theories and Thoughts Brand, on IG. Fancy.
All right. And you guys, of course, everything Swagger Magazine is swaggermagazine.com. I'm sorry.
There you go.
What am I doing? It's swagger.net or swaggeronline.com. But then all of our social media, Swagger Magazine. I am Fancy Swagger on Instagram. My link tree is Fancy Thoughts. And and so next month on the 5th, from the 4th to the 8th, I'm going to be in Baltimore. So if we have any viewers from Baltimore, I'll be there doing one-on-one live interviews. And aside from the interviews, you'll also be able to be featured in our print publication as well as on our website and newsletter. So if anybody is interested in that package, it is located on our website at swagger.net. If you just visit our shop, you'll be able to find all the information there. And then we still have all of our Libra celebrations taking place, such as the live social media interviews for $37.50, the website interviews for $49.99, and then you can get them both for $84 because I'm an 80s baby and I was born in 84. And yeah, so I think that that's everything that I have going on.
All righty, everybody. That'll do it. We'll see y'all next week. Is that the last episode of the month?
It is. It is.
This month went by fast.
It really did. I don't mind. December can't come through fast enough for me. So
I'm so sick of you. Y'all know Fancy graduating in December, right?
So I'm just trying to make it through. Prayers are welcome, y'all.
It's homecoming week. You better
And my classmates say they not coming to class Thursday. I will be there. And I better get some bonus points. I might be the only person because everybody like, we not coming. And I'm just like, oh well.
What's Thursday?
The concert.
Oh girl, who concert?
City girl, it's for the school. So City Girls, Fredo Bang. I would like to see him.
I know City Girls. I know Jackie's.
And somebody else. I can't. Oh, Nardo Week are coming. Now I'm trying to imagine myself going to this concert with these kids. Like, it just don't seem right.
Bring your baby with you, both of them.
I don't know, because they do want to go, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Dylan and all her expenses. You swear she go to Southern Girl.
Listen, don't do Dylan like that.
Yeah.
Don't do Dylan like that. All right, girl. I am exhausted. So we're gonna holler at y'all a little bit later.
Peace and blessings.